Hey everyone, today's class is a all levels full body Pilates class. This class will be very accessible for people who are brand new to Pilates or who've been doing it for a while. Sometimes you can kind of cheat your way out of different movements, and even myself, sometimes when I'm not paying super attention, or like I'll even let go of certain things and I'm like, okay, right, yes, scoop low belly. You know, I feel like I constantly cue scooping the low belly, belly button to spine, slide rib to hip. Like we all need the reminder sometimes. Anyway, this will be great for everyone, new and old to Pilates. And if you have a stability ball, grab your ball. If you don't, no worries. As always, you can do the class without any props. Any questions, let me know. You can always leave a comment on any of my videos, or feel free to shoot me a message. If you ever have any requests for class, let me know. Enjoy. So we're gonna take a couple of deep breaths in. With Pilates, you really breathe in through the nose. So deep breath in. Exhale out the mouth. Let's take one more just like this. So just breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. All right, let's bring the hands to the outside of the rib cage. Let's take a deep breath in, feel the rib cage expand. And then exhale, everything kind of starts to knit together. One more just like that, big breath in. And out. This time let's take our thumbs to the bottom of the rib cage and 2 pointer fingers to those low abdominals. Deep breath in, I want you to breathe into the back of your rib cage. Exhale, feel bottom of rib cage slide rib to hip. So big breath in, breathe into the back of the lungs. Exhale, slide rib to hip. Let's do one more like this. This is how we're gonna breathe for the rest of class. So really breathing in, expanding into the back of the rib cage. Exhale, slide rib to hip. Good. All right, so we're gonna come up onto our knees to start. I'm gonna be a bit more at the middle of my mat. Let's just roll those shoulders back. Arms come out to shoulder height. We press the arms down, lift them up. Press down, so you're moving through peanut butter, nice and slow. Inhale up, exhale down. Now you should also start to engage that core. I know there was lots of requests for core this week, so we're scooping that low belly, pressing belly button to spine, and sliding rib to hip. Let's do 2 more. And we're gonna reach out and press back into a bit of a squat, and then press up. So big inhale, press back, and then exhale to the top. I'll turn to the side here. So we reach back and then press it up. Still moving through peanut butter, creating your own resistance here. You've got a slight tuck of the chin. Let's do 2 more. And 1. We're gonna hold it here, arms come to shoulder height again. Reach the arms overhead. We're gonna come all the way down this time. So reach the arms up and press it down. What we're doing here is we're just really warming up the spine, the shoulder blades, head, neck, and shoulders. Maybe we're starting to get a little warm here. Let's do 1 more. Hold it at the top. Press the elbows down and reach it up. Pull it down, press it up. So we're keeping things out of our shoulders. We don't want to shrug the shoulder blades up. We want to keep it in the back, sliding our shoulder blades up and down the spine for 2. And 1, let's hold it down, hugging those elbows into our sides. Let's pulse it down for 8, 7, 6, 2, 1. All right. We're gonna take the ball into our hand if we have a stability ball. If not, like I mentioned at the beginning, you're gonna kind of take your hands into prayer. And we're gonna start with fingers out. So elbows are out to the side. Let's take our right leg and come out to the side. So everything is in center here. We wanna open up through the hips. So big breath in, we reach up and pull the shoulders down. reach it up, sliding those shoulders along the rib cage. Really pressing into the ball. For 3, for 2, and 1. Let's take the ball to our knee. We're gonna reach the arm over and then pull it back. Big inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's do a few more here. We inhale to reach nice and long and exhale to pull it down. Last one. Good. Come back to center. Hands to center. In prayer this time, fingers are pointing forward. We're actually going to press the hips back and pull it forward. Press back, pull forward. Keep it going here. I'll turn to side profile. Two more. And one. Let's come down. Press back into a shell stretch. Big breath in, breathe into the middle of your shoulder blades. Exhale, lower down. One more. And out. All right, other side. So left leg forward this time. We want to keep our weight in center, nice solid line. And we don't want our knee to go past the toes, so keeping everything in center. Fingertips pointing up, press the arms up, and pull it down. Press and pull. For 3, 2, sometimes things go a little faster as we do the other side, just because we start to understand the movement and get used to it a bit more. Ball comes to the knee, reach the arm over, and pull it back. Big inhale, and exhale. For 2, I feel like I'm already starting to get warm. Last one, and then we're gonna bring that ball back to center. Hands pointing forward this time. Press the hips back, pull everything into center. Press it back, pull it into center. So it's kind of like that squat still. You wanna squeeze those glutes at the top. For 2, and 1. All right, let's press it back into a shell stretch on the other side. Big breath in. Exhale, get a little deeper into it. One more breath. And out. All right, now that we're nice and warmed up, let's swing those legs around. We're gonna set up in a nice tall seat. If you've got a stability ball, place it just above those ankles. You wanna be able to press the heels together, the toe mounds together there, and knees are a little bit wider apart. I'll come onto an angle a little bit here. So we wanna find a nice tall seat. Sometimes you like to move the glutes away a little bit. You really wanna be on top of those sit bones. Hands come behind the knees. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, nice and open through the chest. We're gonna start with a tail tuck. So we just roll slightly off the sit bones and then nice and tall at the top. Roll off those sit bones and nice and tall. So it's really just a slight movement here. We're gonna get to that roll back very soon, which is where we roll back about halfway. But this is just a tuck and untuck. You wanna make sure you're letting go of everything in here, in the glutes. You wanna just focus on those low abdominals. So you're scooping low belly, pressing belly button to spine, sliding the rib cage down. Let's do 2 more. All right, let's hold this next one back. Hold it here, arms come up. Big breath in. We're gonna exhale, roll halfway back. This is different for everyone too. Let's just hold here for a moment. So again, thinking about rolling or scooping that low belly, pressing belly button to spine, slide rib to hip. We inhale, rise, exhale, roll back. Inhale, rise, exhale, roll back. We've got 4 more. Two, and one, let's hold it here. You're holding it halfway back. Option to stay with that pacing, or we can double time. So a little up, roll it back. A little up, roll it back. So we're not going all the way if you're going a little faster with it. More of a 1 count forward, 1 count back. Still staying open between those shoulder blades. You're squeezing those shoulder blades together, open through the chest. For 2. And 1, inhale, forward fold. So ideally, you want to make sure that it's staying out of those hip flexors. You really want to engage that core, but it is really hard to start off. So for this next one, if you do feel your hip flexors firing, come up to a tall seat. We're going to focus on the arms a little bit, but if you are coming back into that roll back, you're going to get that core and arm action. All right, so let's nice and tall, big breath in. Exhale, roll halfway back, hold here, scoop low belly, belly button to spine, slide rib to hip. Shoulder blades squeezing together, nice and open, arms come up. We lift the arms and lower, lift and lower. Big breath in and out. So you do notice that as you come up, it's easy to let go and let those rib cage, just kind of flail out. We want to keep it in, sliding down. So you may not come as high with those arms. You might not really reach, right? So you're keeping everything nice and strong in center for 2. And for 1, option to double time, lift, lower, lift, lower. You should really feel that through the side here. You should feel that movement in the shoulder blades for 2. And 1, big breath in, forward fold. Woo. Big breath in and out. Let's set up one more time. We've got 2 more rounds of our nice arm and core work here. So nice and tall, lower back, hold here, scoop low belly, belly button to spine, slide rib to hip. Everything's nice and open, arms come up. We're gonna open the arm to the side, center, other side, and center. I'm gonna adjust myself so I have a little bit more space here. Side, center, other side, center. So we exhale into center, core is nice and strong. At any time, if you need to readjust, feel free. If you've got a stability ball, add a little bit of pressure there. You want to make sure that there's always a little bit of a squeeze. It's one of these things that looks so easy, but when you're here, you're like, wow, this is quite challenging. All right, so on this next one, we're gonna isolate to one side. Open and close. So I've got my right arm opening and closing. You almost want to add a little bit of a twist, and feel free, just make sure that you're moving with your body, okay? So staying nice and tall, we twist and open and come back to center. For 2, and 1, hold it here, we go to the other side, open and close. Again, if you need to take a break at any time, feel free. If you feel those hip flexors firing, again, you can always come up, just focus on those arms, or focus a little bit more on that low belly. Again, option, you can always twist it open a bit more. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, forward fold. We've got one more little bit of work to do here. Let's make sure that we've got our feet pressing together, heels are pressing together. If you've got that ball, there's a little bit of a squeeze. Knees are nice and open. We're doing a little more twisting action here, so we really want to make sure that core is nice and tight. Roll it halfway back, hold here, readjust. So scoop, low belly, slide, rib to hip. Hands come together this time, so you can either make a little fist, you can interlace the hands. We're gonna twist side, center, other side, center. So what's happening here is my opposite rib is twisting to that opposite hip. So you can almost imagine that if you're wringing out a wet towel, that's kind of what's happening here. You're twisting. inhale to center and we exhale to the side. Now, option to make it a bit more fluid. You don't pause and center. This one's a little harder to do if you're upright because we are focusing a bit more on the core, so you can always extend those legs long. For 4, 3, we're gonna option to add on here, but you can always take a rest. I will always give options to advance. Let's hold it to the right side, a little twist, so deepen that twist. Roll those shoulders down. You don't want them creeping up to your ears. Other side. Scoop that low belly for 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna actually come all the way down onto the floor. Hug those knees into your chest. Take a nice little rest. Big breath in, big breath out. Reverse those circles if you're making circles. And then if you have a stability ball, place it just below the knees. All right, so we're gonna come down to the mat for a little bit. Actually, most of our series today is gonna be on the mat, so it's kind of nice for first thing on a Saturday morning. All right, so you wanna make sure that your heels, you can almost touch them. I've got probably I can touch it with my longer fingers here. You want to squeeze your glutes. Hands are pressing into the mat. So if you actually want to continue with your arm work here, really press those palms into the earth. Let's just start by lifting up here. So we press through the knees, squeeze the glutes, look at our core. Where are we at? We want to make sure that we're not tucking the tailbone or untucking it too much. We're staying pretty much in neutral here. Now scoop that low belly, press belly button to spine, slide rib to hip. It's kind of like a corset. You're knitting everything together. And as you can see here, my rib cage is pretty much on the floor. I've got some space underneath, but it's mostly after my rib cage, my glutes, and then everything from here on. All right, arms pressing down, roll the shoulders back. This is more of a Pilates bridge. It's more isolated. We lower the hips to a tap and lift. Lower and lift. If you've got a stability ball, make sure there's a little crush on that ball. Slight tuck of the chin. We really exhale to the top and inhale to lower. And also notice I'm not going all the way down. I want to make sure that I can always keep a squeeze on those glutes. A cue that I love is imagine you've got a $100 bill between those cheeks. Don't let it go. Can be more if you want. For 3, 2, I can already feel the fire in my glutes. Let's hold it at the top. We're gonna go halfway down this time and lift. So a couple inches down and then pressing up. Big exhale on the up. For 2 and 1. Hold it at the top, little pulse. Really keep a slide, rib to hip. 3, 2, option to hold it here. If you want to lower down for a rest, you can. If you lower down, just windshield wiper those legs side to side. If you're holding here, hold at the top, really squeeze those glutes, reset, roll the shoulders down. We're going to walk those feet in a tiny bit more. We're going to focus on lifting and lowering the heels. So everyone's back at the top, pressing through the knees, squeezing the glutes, alternate heel, lift and lower, lift and lower. So we're still keeping a squeeze on those glutes, keeping that core nice and tight, just focusing on those heels. For 3, both sides. And 1, both sides. Let's hold both heels up, tap and lift. I need to walk my feet in just slightly. Really exhale at the top. You really want to focus on keeping those hips at the same spot in space. Maybe they only lift an inch, that's fine. For 2 and 1. Let's hold those heels at the top. Really hike those heels up, squeeze those glutes. If you've got a ball, a little crush on that ball. We lower the hips and lift. This is where you really feel that burn if you didn't feel it yet. Feel the glutes, the inner thighs, everything really lighting up here. For 2 and 1. We're gonna hold it at the top, halfway down and lift. Halfway down, lift. Exhale. We've got 4 more. Keep it, really melt those shoulders down. You wanna relax the shoulders. Hold it at the top, little pulses here. Whew. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the heels down. Always an option to take a break here. We're gonna reset. Slight squeeze on those glutes. Squeeze on the ball. Let's flex the feet this time. So toes are kind of lifted off the mat slightly. Heels are flexed. We press to lift and lower. This is the last round of these guys here. But when we kind of alternate the positioning of our feet, we target different areas. So getting a lot of different glute work done here. For 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna go half, lift, half, lift. Really press at the top, press through the knees. Still engaging that core, scooping low belly, pressing belly button to spine, slide rib to hip. Let's hold it at the top, little pulses. 3, 2, 1, lower down. Hug those knees into the chest. Take a nice little break here. Big breath in, big breath out. All right, we're gonna do some core work now, a little bit more. So I'm gonna set my ball off to the side for a moment. We're gonna try to keep our feet in a similar position, but we're really gonna relax our feet this time. We're not gonna do too much work with them. Let's make a bed for our head. So elbows are within your gaze. Slight tuck of the chin. You really want the spine to be really long here. Exhale, curl head, neck, and shoulders away from the floor. Hold here. We're gonna do a few more little checks before we move forward. Really reach that tailbone long and then kind of give off of it just slightly. You do want a bit of space between you and the floor here. Big breath in, exhale, curl a little deeper, hold here. So we're gonna talk a little bit about our scapular position here. So we don't want it to like curl too much. We want it to be open, but we also want those shoulder blades to squeeze together. And we want our gaze to be at our knees. And what also helps here is to press the back of your head into your hands. All right, exhale, curl a little deeper. We inhale halfway back, exhale, curl. Inhale, exhale. We're gonna keep it going. I'm gonna sprinkle in a few more cues here that you can think about. I find in Pilates, there's always so much to think about. So I've been using these cues all class so far. Scoop the low belly, press belly button to spine, and kind of like scoop it under your rib cage. So imagine it's a little ice cream scoop, and then slide rib to hips. You don't want to get to a point where your ribs are really like flailing out. We're isolating the movement, curling it in a few inches, and then inhaling halfway back. Let's do a few more here. For 3, 2, hold it at the top. Now we're just gonna slide rib to hip, little pulse, 1 inch movement. And it's really a press up. Relax the head, neck, and shoulders slightly. For 3, 2, and 1, lower down. You can take your head and just gently release, going side to side. All right, setting up again, make that bed for your head. Exhale, curl head, neck, and shoulders away from the floor. Elbows are within the gaze. Gaze is at the knees. Take a big breath in, exhale, curl a little deeper. You might need to readjust slightly. Hold it here. We're gonna oblique curl to the side, center, other side. So what's happening here is that same rib to hip is getting smaller and then stretching to center. Other side, getting smaller, center. So exhale to curl to the side, inhale to center. This is really nice too as like a little bit of a stretch for your upper body. And it really, like what we're gonna do in this entire series is get all of the different angles of the core. 2 more. Both sides. Last one. And then we're gonna isolate it to one side. You can always take your right arm nice and long by your body. Then we're just gonna reach, pull it back. Reach, pull it back. So we're isolating to one side. The gaze is still at our knees. This is a little easier to keep everything within the core nice and stable. So we're just going to the side. And let's hold it as deep as we can go there. Make sure we're still, like our hips are in line. We're just reaching, and little pulse, so 1-inch pulse. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. You can always take a quick little break here. We're gonna reset and then go over to the other side. So our left arm is long this time. Big inhale, exhale, curl to the side and center. Curl and center. For 4, 3, 2, and then we hold as deep as we can go, but make sure our hips are still center and deepen that pulse. So slide it down, get a little deeper, make that rib to hip connection a little bit smaller. For 3, 2, 1, back to center. Slowly let that head, neck, and shoulders come down. This time you can windshield wiper those legs side to side. Big breath in. We're actually gonna grab our stability ball if we have one for this next exercise. I'm gonna take it underneath my right leg. And if you don't have one, that's fine. I'm just gonna get you guys to like flex your leg and your foot a little bit more. So for this next one, let's start by unweighting that right leg, bringing it up to tabletop. So if you've got a ball, you're gonna be on a little bit more of an angle. If you don't, you're gonna want your leg to be here. But if you've got that ball underneath, you're flexing everything, there's a squeeze on that ball. Let's make a little bed for our head. Exhale, curl head, neck, and shoulders away from the floor. Making sure that pelvis is nice and long, reaching that tailbone long. There's a little space between you and the floor. Exhale, curl a little deeper here. We're gonna inhale back, exhale, curl. Inhale back, exhale, curl. So we've been here before. We're just adding in another layer of movement. Again, we don't wanna go back too far so that our ribs are poking out. We wanna keep everything really nice and tight. Let's do a few more here. For 2, and 1, let's hold it at the top here. We're gonna start to twist into that bent knee. So twist, center, twist, center. You should really feel that core now. For 2, and 1, hold it here. We're gonna deepen that twist, really bring out that towel, little pulse. 3, 2, 1, inhale, lower down. We're gonna switch sides. So ball is under the left leg this time. You might need to readjust slightly. Make that bend for your head. Exhale, curl head, neck, and shoulders up. Make sure everything is nice and in line, really sliding rib to hip. Unweight that leg, bring it up to tabletop. Little crush on that ball. If you don't have a ball, just flex the leg, flex the foot. Leg is really turned on here. And just make sure that your hips are still in line. Inhale back, exhale, curl. Inhale back, curl. Gaze is at the knee. 2, and 1. Hold it at the top. Here's where we twist to the side and bring it back to center. Twist and center. So actually, the position that I'm in here, you'll see that my shoulder blade just slightly lifts off the ground and returns to center. For 2, and 1. Hold it here, get a little deeper, little pulses. 4, 3, 2, 1, lower down. All right, so what you could do to to advance it even further, you could remove the ball, unweight the legs up to tabletop. Big breath in. You may as well do it. I feel like I'm getting halfway into it here. Curl head, neck, and shoulders away from the floor. So we've got our legs, they're in like a 90-degree angle. You can inhale it back, exhale, curl. We can do 4 of these. 2, and 1. Hold it here. And then we can extend the leg to twist, center, other side, center. Always pausing in center to take a breath in. And then you could bicycle. 3, 2, 1. Hug those knees into your chest. I feel like my core is on fire, guys. Big breath in, reverse those circles. All right, and then we're gonna slide, roll over onto our side. All right, gonna get into a little bit more glute work. So if you have a ball or a pillow or something, you can always make a little bed for your head with your ball. You really wanna make sure your spine is nice and long. My ball's a little bit too big for keeping everything nice and long, so I'm just gonna make a little bed for my head here. I'll move that ball over there. Heels are in line with the tailbone, so I always like to take my body and make sure I'm lining up with the long part of my mat, the back part of the mat. You can take your hands to your hips. You really want to make sure your hips are stacked, your knees are stacked, feet are like flexed or pointed. You want to make sure there's a little space between you and the floor, and imagine there's like a nice long string reaching here. We're going to extend that back leg nice and long, and you can see here my leg's not forward, it's not on like a 45, it's nice and long, shooting right out. I'm creating a really long line. Big inhale, exhale, lift the leg and lower. So we're going to inhale on the lift and exhale on the lower. My leg's not like, ooh, I don't even know if I could do that with my glutes squeezing so much. You just want to like bring it slightly above the line and lower. Slightly above the line and lower. If you ever have a band, you can always use your band here too. For 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna hold it at the top and circle. So we're gonna make circles the size of a golf ball. For 3, 2, 1. Reverse those circles. This always seems really like not so bad at the beginning. For 2, and 1. Hold it here. Imagine I'm tugging on your leg and make it a little bit longer here. We pulse the leg up 1 inch. So it's really just a tiny, tiny movement here. You're squeezing the glutes. You can always bring your hand back to your hips to make sure those hips are stacked. For 2, and 1. Now hold it here. We're gonna internally rotate. So you can kind of see that my knee is pointing a little bit more down towards the floor. Lift and lower the leg. Lift and lower. Sometimes with that internal rotation, you can get a little bit more height, but again, we don't want it to like go too high. For 3, 2, 1, hold it here, circles. This is kind of where you start to feel that fire a little bit more. Squeeze those glutes. Make sure you're still engaging the core the same way I've been cueing. Reverse those circles before I talk too much. So you want to make sure that core is still nice and engaged. Hold it here, reach long. Make sure you've got that internal rotation and pulse the leg up. We're just going to do 8 here. Scoop low belly, press belly button to spine, slide rib to hip. That slide rib to hip really keeps you nice and, controlled in the core. Hold it here. Let's open it up. So flex the foot this time. We're going to open it up. Try to make that knee point to the sky if you can. Mine doesn't necessarily go all the way to the sky. But we lift and lower the leg. Lift and lower. This also gets some inner and outer thigh work here too. Mostly outer. For 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top circle. Draw those circles with your heel. Energetically press out through the heel. Reverse those circles. Hold it here, little pulses. 4, 3, 2, 1, lower down. You can always whack that hip a little bit here. And we're gonna come onto our side, press back into a shell stretch, take a deep breath in. We're gonna do hands and knees track, and then we're going to go to the other side of our side leg series, and then we're done. All right, so knees are in line with our hips here, hands are in line with our shoulders. I gotta say, that's the nice thing about like doing these recordings. I can always check to see like, am I in line? Puff up between the shoulder blades. So when I'm puffing up, my shoulder blades aren't necessarily squeezing together. You can still squeeze them together, but like nice puff up, and then engage that core. So scoop belly button to spine, and then slide rib to hip. Everything's nice and tight here. We're actually gonna focus on our arms. So you're gonna slightly unweight the right arm, bring it out to the side, and then pull it in. Other arm unweights, we take it out to the side and pull it in. I'm gonna have to go on a bit of an angle again here. So we're alternating side to side, open it up, press it down. Other side, open up, press it down. So you're moving with your own resistance here, moving through peanut butter, still puffing up between the shoulder blades, squeezing the shoulder blades together as you open the arm out to the side. Let's do 2 more, both sides. Last one. And I'm gonna isolate it and start with my left arm this time. You're just gonna lift it out to the side, tap it down. So a little faster this time. You can always point the fingers, reach the arm nice and long. For 2. And 1. We're gonna open it up a little bit more out to the side. So we're gonna get a nice little stretch, and then we tap it down. Open and tap. Open and tap. Gonna readjust slightly. And do this as you need to. If you need to readjust at any time, take a moment. For 2. And 1, we're gonna get a nice little scoop underneath the arm here. And then we open it up. So it's kind of a little bit of a stretch here. Big breath in, exhale, scoop. Big breath in, exhale, scoop. 2 more. And 1. And then we go over to the other side. So I'm gonna switch my angle here. So this time my right arm opens out and we tap it down. So we're actually not gonna go that far. We're gonna keep it just out to the side and tap it down. You relatively want to keep that upper body facing down to start, and it's mostly that arm. A little bit of core. For 3, 2, and then we start to open it up. You can always take this down to your forearms at any time as well. Big breath in to open, exhale to come down. Last one. And then we open it up, nice big stretch, make it a bit more fluid. Scoop underneath and open up. Scoop it under and open. Scoop and open. For 2 and 1. Back to center, press back into a shell stretch. Big breath in and out. 1 more breath and out. All right. Other side of our side leg, and then we're gonna cool it down. All right. So you can always take your ball and make a little bed for your head. My feet are gonna come a little bit more in line with my tailbone. Those hips are stacked, our knees are stacked. Lift the obliques away from the mat. You can either tent the hand in front or hands to the hips there. Nice long string, reaching tall through the top of your head. Let's extend that back leg long and then bring it back slightly. You want to make sure it's in line. And imagine I'm tugging on your ankle a little bit to reach a little bit longer. We lift and lower the leg. Lift and lower. I know whenever I'm in a class, I'm like, oh, I always forgot about that other side of the side leg. But of course, we have to even it out. 3, 2, hold it here, circle the leg. Little circles. And again, you still want to keep that core engaged, so scoop low belly. We'll reverse those circles. Press belly button to spine, and then slide rib to hip. That slide rib to hip really gets you that motion you're looking for. Hold, reach, reach, reach. Little pulse. 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 3, 2, hold. Internally rotate the leg, reach the leg long. You want to wrap muscle to bone, get a little longer through the leg. Lower, lift, lower, lift. Keep a squeeze on those glutes. That $100 bill squeezing between the cheeks here works too. 2, 1, hold it at the top, little circles. And reverse those circles. Slide rib to hip, don't forget. Relax those shoulders. Hold it here, little pulse. 3, 2, 1. Flex the foot, externally rotate. You open through those hips a little bit here. Lower the leg, lift. Lower, lift. Lower, lift. I find the external rotation is harder to get more height. Squeeze those glutes for 2. And 1, hold it up, circle, draw that circle with the heel, energetically press out through the heel, and reverse. Hold it here, get that external rotation, little pulse up. 3, 2, 1, and you're done. You can whack your glutes if you need to. All right, let's roll onto our back. And we're gonna hug those knees into our chest. We're gonna cool it down. Big breath in, big breath out. Reverse those circles if you're making circles with those knees. And then hold and hug. I like to pull my knees a little bit closer into my armpits here. Big breath in and out. Big breath in. And out. You can always move into happy baby. Grab for the soles of your feet. Big breath in. Reach that tailbone nice and long. You can always rock side to side here. Big breath in. Big breath out. Let's hold the right leg in. Left leg goes nice and long. Let's make some circles with the leg. And reverse those circles. Hold it here. You're going to take your ankle and lift it, or bring it a little bit more in line with the midline. You can press that knee away slightly. This actually releases through the hip flexor, through the outside, through here, through the glute, the psoas muscle. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then you can take that knee and cross it over the body. A little twist here, and you can gaze over to the right side. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more. And out. Back to center. Hug both of those knees into the chest for a quick squeeze, and then extend the right leg long and circle the left. Really release through those hips. And reverse the circles. Big breath in. Big breath out. Hold in center. Grab for that ankle. Bring it closer into that midline of the body. 2 breaths here. One more. Come back to center. and you're gonna cross the leg over the body. I don't have enough space here to bring my arm long, but I'm gonna cactus the arm and then look over the left shoulder. 2 breaths. Back to center. Tuck those knees in. Hands behind the knees, and you can rock up a few times. I like to do it like 3 times. It's a nice little massage for the back. Come to center, cross the legs. We're gonna do a few arm stretches because we did a little bit of arm work there. So let's reach the arms over, grab for the right elbow, pull it down. Big breath in. And out. Big breath in. And out. We're gonna reach the arms overhead and then take that right arm across the body. Big breath in. And out. Breath in. And out. Reach the arm over. Let's tense the arm and reach. Pull it back. Reach, hold. Big breath in. Exhale deeper. I'm actually just realizing now that it's flipped for Facebook that this is my right, but I think it's your guys' left. Come back to center. Let's forward fold and center. Walk the hands out. Take a deep breath in. Wiggle between those shoulder blades. And out. Walk the hands in, and we'll do the other side. So reach. Left arm comes down. Big breath in. And out. One more. And out. And we reach up, take the arm across the body here. One more. And then we tempt the arm to the side, reach, pull it down. One more hold, big breath in, get a little deeper. Back to center, we're gonna switch the legs that are crossed with the other, reach the arms over and fold. Walk the hands out, breathe in between the shoulder blades. Let it go. Walk the hands in. Hands come to the knees here. We're gonna take our opposite hand to the opposite knee and then take this arm behind, opening up, big breath in, get nice and tall. And then exhale, twist a little deeper. Take another breath here, get tall, and then twist deeper. Gently come back. We go to the other side, open it up. Big breath in, exhale a little deeper. And out. Back to center. Hands come to the knees. Let's take a big breath in. And out. Let's just reset the spine. One more breath. And out. Let's take the right ear up. Big breath in. And out. Center, other ear up. Breath in. Really get a nice stretch through the side of the neck. And out. Center, chin to chest. And gentle head roll side to side. Let's do it 3 times. Make sure you get both sides. And just notice the difference between how you feel now and how you might have felt when you first started the class. Maybe you just woke up, or maybe you've been up for a few hours and had a few coffees. Last one. Back to center. And you're done. Give yourself a little clap. You guys did a great job.